Part of the family now.
The E
Would have
family.
known.
The E family.
family.
Yeah, so I started naming all my kids E to Ethan, Eli.
Oh, wow.
Yeah.
I don't know if I'll keep that going. I know my first son, his name would be Emmett, though.
That's super
Okay.
crazy though, because like, so you started naming the family.
Yeah.
In my family, I name my family.
No, you get the last name. The man get the last
I
name.
get both of the names.
Oh, that's selfish. Please don't even get me started. Hello, hello, hello. Welcome back to another episode of In the Fries. Today we have a really special guest. We have Emmett Jiggy Jones. I'm trying to make sure I get his name right. He is a multimedia journalist. He is also an entrepreneur, a co-founder of KreativeClout.
Clout, yep.
My pronunciation, y'all gonna bear with me. Y'all know I Liberian. He also have created conversations, convo as you call it, where he interview a lot of celebrities like Patti LaBelle, Ludacris, Little Baby, and he recently interviewed the cast of Martin. That was major. So welcome, Jiggy. We're so happy to have you here.
Yeah, no, thank y'all. Shout out to In the Fries podcast, all my people there. I appreciate y'all. This podcast, I saw a clip on TikTok probably a few months ago, and I love what y'all doing.
Wow.
Especially, for the country, we need as much promotion, much media, much entertainment as possible. So thank you all for having me.
We appreciate that. Thank you so much for coming.
Mm-hmm.
Definitely, my brother. So we like you in the media space, right? Like you said, we need more media space. That's what this was created for. This platform was just created so we can create something for like our people.
Mm-hmm.
So it's just straight, like, we racist on this platform.
Yeah.
Right.
It's a Liberian platform.
It's all Liberian.
You have to be associated with Liberian. So if you Nigerian, Ghanaian, you got a Liberian woman or something, you can come in. And we have some kind of association. So yeah, definitely. So
for sure.
Thank you for coming through, man. Welcome.
Yes, before we get started, we want you to give us a little backstory about yourself. Tell us a little bit. For the people who don't know you, are you 100% Liberian? Because the people like to fight people on their podcast and want to find out you're not Liberian?
Yeah, 100% raw Liberian man.
Yeah.
Raw Liberian man.
Your mom Liberian, pa Liberian?
My mom Liberian, my pa Liberian, my Oma, she from Grand Bassa County, Firestone.
I want to.
She from Firestone. Speak raw Bassa.
Okay.
I don't speak Bassa, but my Oma spoke Bassa to me too.
Speaking like
I know when. That's it.
It's so crazy. Like, we don't know how to speak our tribe.
Exactly.
Say ah.
I talked to my parents, my Oma, about that all the time. Like, why you ain't speak Bassa to me? She spoke Bassa to me till about 2 years old, and then that's it. It was straight English. But my pa, he from Bumby County. Yeah, so he Gola. So Gola Bassa man. So yeah, pure raw Liberian man.
Oh,
yeah. Wow. But yeah, grew up, Newark, New Jersey, born and raised. That's the birthplace of Whitney Houston, the voice, the great Whitney Houston, if y'all know.
Oh, wow.
Shaquille O'Neal's from there, Michael B. Jordan. So many greats from my city, Newark, New Jersey. Tisha Campbell from the Martin Show, who played Gina. Oh. But yeah, born and raised in Newark, New Jersey. Grew up in a Liberian household, African household. So, my parents always looked at and say, you got to be doctor or lawyer.
Of course.
He said, my man, my dad looked at me and said, my man, I know you family science, but when you go to school, you're going to be a nurse. Since you can't be doctor, since you family science, I would tell you, you can't be surgeon or you can't be OBGYN, but you can be nurse. I'm like, all right, cool.
Man, the crazy thing about it, so when your parents took what you're doing seriously, like now you know how growing up in a Liberian home, right?
Exactly.
Whereas when you start to do entertainment stuff to them, like, you're not serious, you're not joke. When going to school is serious.
Yeah, they said not serious, not being serious. My man, my parents didn't take what I did seriously until the Martin interview.
Which is recent.
Exactly. I had to reach the highest of the highest. So all the Little Baby, Ludacris, they said, what a man here with bread? What a man here with... Said, Ludacris, Little Baby. I had a grown man call himself baby. You know what I mean? So all those things... But that just showed you the standard that Africans set on their children.
Yeah.
They want, they came here for more opportunities. They want their children to be better than what they did.
Bro, I wouldn't really say this. I wouldn't really say the standards, right?
Yeah.
I would say they're understanding their reality,
that's
right?
True, that's true. Yeah.
Because that's not a standard. You talking about, you don't understand like an individual who making millions of dollars.
Yeah.
And you compare him to somebody who make $100,000.
Yeah.
And you telling somebody beat is instead of being that. You feel me?
But like you said, it's that understanding because they never saw that growing
Never saw
up.
that coming
and
up.
even when they see people on TV, they don't know what their salary is, what they make. So they're used to the traditional way of us making money.
Yeah.
So we can't really blame them. They don't know what they don't know.
Yeah,
They don't know. They don't know. Yeah,
So
we gotta change that
mindset.
All of that, you still believe in yourself and you got it going.
Yeah, for
and that's
sure.
exactly what took you exactly to your peak.
Yeah,
That's what's up, my boy.
Yeah, no, thank you.
Yeah,
I think, you know, confidence was always, I looked at that as my superpower. You know, growing up around a lot of, you know, Black Americans is, if you dark skinned, if you African, I had a lisp, crooked teeth, you know, so a lot of things, you know, but I always remained my confidence. I was always the cool kid that was either performing, I was in choir, I played ball. So it was like a lot of people connected with me just cause I was the coolest nigga at school. That's all it was, no matter what the stereotype placed on Africans was. So
that's very important though, because you did something that allowed us to connect with you, something that they familiar with. You understand? Like playing ball, like being a part of stuff. So sometimes we might think, okay, these individuals are here. They don't mess with us because we from here. Because we're not doing something that connect with them. We're not doing something that they familiar with. You feel me? So
but they always know I'm African though.
You make
when I get mad, you know, my accent randomly come out. I didn't even know it.
All of us.
I didn't even know it until, you know, different situations in school. My accent come out. They like, oh, hold on.
Now let me pivot a little bit. What inspired you to start
KreativeClout.
KreativeClout. Yeah.
That's a dope name to Clout.
Yeah.
KreativeClout. So
in 2020.
In 2020, what did that come from?
So shout out to my brother Lamont Griffin. That's my frat brother. I'm part of the fraternity Iota Phi Theta. It's I
think they can spin you on your...
No, we don't do that. We don't do that. We don't do that. We don't do that. But it's a non-hazing organization. But we're part of the Divine Nine, so that's Alphas, AKAs, Qs, all that. Okay. But you know, we went to school together. I was a broadcast journalism major in school and went to William Patterson University in New Jersey, Wayne, New Jersey. And you know, when I graduated, I said, you know, I want to be in media entertainment. That was my goal. You know, growing up, I got an older sister. Shout out to my older sister, Tay. You know, growing up in the house, you know, when we wake up on Saturday morning, we had to clean the house before we do anything.
Oh, yes.
Definitely.
Clean the house. So 7 a.m. Mind you, we go to school Monday through Friday. Saturday at 7 a.m. Before y'all do anything. I don't care if y'all going to the playground, y'all going outside with your friend, y'all got to clean the house.
Liberian household.
Yeah. So the Omar said,
in the morning?
7 a.m. before we do anything. So our thing was, all right, we want to do what we want to do. So what we used to do, we turn on MTV, turn on BET, and we play music all day while we clean the house for an hour, 2 hours, and then we go about our business. But during that time, that's how me and my sister, we dance, we sing, and we just grew you know, an affinity for just music.
You talking about MTV? You talking about like Free?
Yeah, AJ and BT, AJ and Free, all that. So they used to show the reruns of 106 in Park on the weekends. So we watching that. So we watching that growing up, and just throughout our lives, that's what we did. And my mom, you know, she was very active in the Liberian community in Newark, New Jersey. She was the 2-time president.
Was in the organization?
Yeah. My Oma, she that type, right? I called my Oma. She was my first booking agent. So she used to see me in the house doing all these things, singing and dancing. And one day she said, "Emma, one of your auntie, you know, she getting married. Do you want to perform at the wedding?"
Oh wow!
So I said, "I'm like, yeah, like
that's super crazy, right?
Yeah,
to have like an African parent wanting to tap into your creative space, right? It's so very important, and it's like that clap for the Oma.
Yeah,
not a lot of
Margaret Jones.
Oma understands that.
That's a woman.
Oma.
That's a woman, yeah. But my Oma, she was
she got you your first client.
She got got me my first booking, and she, you know, her being active in the community, she would lead all her dance troops growing up.
Wow.
She's very active, right? She sung in the choir.
Oh, she had a cultural troupe and stuff like that.
Yeah, cultural troupe, all that. I mean, that short bassa woman, but Margaret Jones, yo, she
know about entertainment.
She know about entertainment.
So
that was the whole thing. She was the
from.
MC for a lot of different people, different things.
So you had a cheat code.
Yeah, my Oma basically my cheat code because she understood that was her passion. Yeah. Even to this day, you know, she worked with a lot of the ULA organizations. But fast forward to when I got to college, when I graduated college, I moved back to the Babe house. He said, "My man, you know, you gotta figure it out. You gotta do something." Yeah. So I said, "All right." I said, "Give me some time. Give me a couple years to figure it out." And I knew that I wanted to be in entertainment. I wanted to be in media. I was on Google one day. I always used to look at this site called Hot New Hip Hop. And Hot New Hip Hop was like the media site where a lot of new music was played. And then I saw an ad that thesource.com was looking for contributors.
Oh.
So that's how I started 2017. I would start writing for The Source, and then I would pitch so many ideas to The Source, but they would straight dub me. They would say, like, that's not a good idea.
So you kept going.
So I kept going. I kept pitching. And then one day I'm talking to one of my men, my frat bro, Lamont, and he like, bro, why don't we start our own shit? Like, he was like, you talking about you pitching these ideas, but they not having it. Let's start our own. And I said, bet. So he the one that came up with the name KreativeClout. And then
Lamont.
we started.
Hand clap for Lamont.
Big shout out to Lamont, man. That's my brother.
You see, a lot of people, a problem people have, right? They never give flowers to the people who play the background. You feel me?
Sure.
Right.
And it's so important when it comes to like being creative. It's like different component of people who just work
come together
to make that one thing come to life. So big up, man.
Contribution, yeah.
Yeah, it's big up.
Big shout out to Lamont, man. Lamont, and that's my brother, his daughter. That's my first godchild. You know, that's family, and thank God for him, because that was my first investor. To have somebody that you went to school with at that time, I probably knew Mont for 3-4 years, and he the first one to put the money up. First one to say, yo, you know what, we gonna get these cameras. Yo, we gotta go to Atlanta. At that time, we was going to Atlanta every other month.
Oh, so you had a friend. Me and my friend was talking the other day, right? Me and my friend right here were talking about Liberian people friendship that liquor. So you had a friend. The relationship was based off of them just liquor, giving liquor to drink liquor.
Yeah, man, I take away from my guests. We're trying to. I'm trying to
invest. No, I'm saying.
Yeah, no, that's true.
I'm saying like.
Like to argue.
No, Emma, I'm saying right. Our community, right? Our community, Liberian community, right?
Yeah.
A lot of friends are based off of them just calling you, my man, I got drink liquor.
Right.
Man, I got beer, I got Hennessy.
Yeah.
Can I just sit down and drink liquor?
Right.
That friendship. Your friends, you
can't really
they're not
blame
moving you forward.
Yeah.
You're not progressing. You're not trying to figure out to create ideas, to try to.
But the thing is, you can't really put the blame on those friends, because they said birds of a feather flock together.
That's true.
So if those are the people that you're inviting into your circle, those are the people that you're encouraging.
Yeah.
That's the people you're gonna get.
Yeah.
If you got plenty of friends that are drinking liquor, well, you gotta look around and say, "Wow, all my friends that were drinking liquor together, we're not doing that."
Some off right here. Yeah, you gotta remove yourself from that situation.
I had a friend called Lamont. Lamont basically was a better friend.
Yeah,
that's what I'm trying to say.
They were still drinking.
We in college.
Yeah,
we were in frat together. We bought it.
Yeah.
All that we did all that. But
he wanted more for you.
Yeah, exactly. When we got out of school, you know, he's business savvy. I was doing journalism. He saw me doing my thing. He like, you know what? Like, let's put our heads together.
Right.
Let's put our minds together. Let's make something happen. So he came up with the name. But before that, my first interview was with Busta Rhymes.
Oh wow, that's major.
Yeah,
the first interview.
First interview, but that took with The Source. They didn't pay me.
Okay.
So for the first time, guess how much?
My man, please do me a favor and say that again, please.
So The Source, right?
Please say. Hold on.
I still got the email on my phone.
Give me a second.
Yeah.
I want you to highlight that, right? Because we have a lot of people in the creative space in our Liberian community, right?
Yeah.
That don't have no fan base. Can't even sell 25 to 30 tickets. But they want you to book them for an event. Because they feel they go to the studio, record music. They feel like they spend money to do something. So I'm even tired of getting that money back. So please
don't take away from my guests.
It's real shit, because we talking entertainment and creative spaces, right?
Right.
When it comes to creative spaces, people don't understand what you signing up for.
Yeah.
You gotta make a lot of sacrifices. Gotta do a lot of free stuff, because how much they're gonna pay you? It's not like a job paying you $20 an hour.
Yeah.
They're paying you thousands of dollars.
Yeah.
I call it back payment.
Yeah.
Right.
For all the time you never got paid, when you get those checks, it's back payment.
It's back
For
payment.
sure.
People don't understand that.
For sure.
But it's
Go
a
ahead, tell them,
cultural
my
thing,
brother.
because a lot of us Liberians, we don't understand business. We don't understand what it takes. He had a bigger picture, and he knew sometimes you got to do a couple things free to get to where you want to be.
That's it. I studied the game. I studied everyone that came before me, whether you was a manager, executive, journalist, or artist. I studied everybody that came before me. So I didn't get my first check from The Source until a year after. I was writing free for a year. So just waking up at 6 a.m. every day to write 3 to 5 articles. Then I had a job I had to go to part-time. I was working at a tourism office, just doing stuff, helping them around the office. I found myself valuable. I made myself valuable around there.
That's the word.
And,
Make yourself valuable, yeah.
And then when I got that check, I took my manager. I saw my manager. We produced the festival. The Source produced the festival. So I came up to her. I said, hey, I'm Jiggy. She said, oh, yeah, Jiggy, I know you've been doing great work. So I said, all right, let me take you out to lunch.
So you spend your money.
I spent my money.
Oh, my goodness.
Yeah. I spent my money. Money I really didn't have at the time.
Believing what you were doing, my bro.
Yeah.
You understood what
the bigger picture.
You understood what you wanted to do.
Yeah, I understood because I understood the mission. The bigger goal was not that me taking her out to lunch and spending $70. Because honestly, I thought she was gonna pay. I thought she was gonna pay for me.
I still Jiggy, right?
Yeah.
So at what time in your life that your dream became a reality? That you realized that everything you was dreaming that you wanted to achieve became an actual reality?
Yeah, that's a good question right there. Shit,
was it the interview with the Mountain Cast or what?
I mean,
about probably boss around, right?
That was one of them. That was one of them right there. Because that was the first time, you gotta understand, my man. When it comes to this interview, that was 2022 when I interviewed Martin, right? But at the same time, when my vision became a reality, damn, I don't even think it's there yet. Because every time, my man is more
because boss was still popping in 2000.
Yeah, for sure.
The crazy part about that, Jiggy, right? I always say this to people, right? I see a lot of cats who finding themselves struggling, right, when it comes to entertainment.
Yeah.
I say to them, you're in the airplane, right?
Yeah.
The plane's moving so fast. But you can't feel how fast the plane's moving. Anybody outside see that plane? That plane's moving so fast. So you there. You feel? Sometimes we looking for far distance. So I say it's very important to have mentor. Mentorship very important.
Fact.
Put yourself around people who actually in those places you want to go. And then you get to realize that, damn, I'm already there. Because they're going through the same struggles I'm going through.
That's a fact.
You feel me?
You make a good point. So I would say I'm there, right? Because I think I was having this conversation. I talk to myself a lot. I call it soliloquizing.
Very important.
Soliloquizing a lot. I talk to myself a lot, right? And I look at it like, I feel like I'm there because I can make a phone call and make shit happen right now.
Right. Yeah.
But back when I first started, I couldn't make that happen.
Please make a call, Matthew Lawrence. I've been in Fed all my life.
Like I can make a call and make a lot of things happen. Like I just did an event in Philly with the Philly School Board and the 76ers. So that was making a call happen with my homegirl. She worked at Wells Fargo. Emmy funding, made it happen. So it's like I can make them calls right now. Happen, If I wanted to interview somebody that I admire or I like somebody's music, I could find a publicist, or I know somebody that knows somebody. I can make a call. So I would say, yeah, I'm there now. But I would say, but the Martin interview for that, just to answer your question, every time I did an interview, me and Mont would carry our own equipment. So like all the equipment you have here, we'll pack that in a bag and we'll take it to Atlanta. We'll take it to Miami. We'll take it to LA. But the Martin interview was the first time that it just said, Jiggy, you just come by yourself on set. Wow. So I didn't have to carry no bag, no equipment. So I'm talking to the lady. I'm like, my homegirl, shout out to what's her name? Ariana Wilkes. Shout out to Ariana. She the one that booked me for the Ayana Wilkes. She the one that booked me for that Martin interview. So Ayana hit me. I'm talking to her on the phone. I'm like, yeah, Ayana, we got our equipment. She like, Jiggy, you don't need no equipment. Like, just come by yourself. Cause I'm so used to bringing my equipment.
Right.
Cause I don't got no studio. I don't got no, so we pull up however, whatever equipment we got. And we do the interview there. And a big part of my Martin interview, I can't skip over the shot to my big bro, my big cousin, Forte Crawford. Big shout out to Forte. Let's give a round of applause for Forte.
Yeah, instrumental in
my journey. At the time, he was living in Irvine, California, so that's close to LA. Every time I went to LA, Forte hold me down. We got this phrase he called my man Jetland. My man Jetland, because when I land, everything taken care of.
Right.
He cooked for me, so my meal's prepared. I'm wearing his brand right now, World Leaders. Big shout out to World Leaders. Make sure y'all follow that. Drop coming soon.
Yeah. One of our brand clothing line. I ain't get my package yet. I'm gonna get my package. I'm gonna talk to 4 years. I'm gonna talk to him. And my brother's love.
But Forte is very instrumental because I feel like Forte, that's my big cousin, but that's my big brother for real. He was doing the entertainment. He was in the entertainment game before I went in there, and when we linked up. That's what I'm wearing. That's what I'm wearing on the Martin interview. I'm wearing World Leaders.
Wow.
My man, when he called me, he said, because at the time, I was worried about my credit and my debt. He like, my man, the flight rate paid for. Boom. I checked my Zelle, $600 sent. He paid for my flight to go to L.A.
Wow, that's great.
He paid for my flight to go to L.A. Mind you, we shooting at the Netflix studio at the time. He said, my man, check your cash out. $600 right there. He said, my man, book that flight right now.
Yo, some people don't understand, right? What family is, right? What the reason behind family, right, is to really help one another get to where they're trying to go.
Facts.
It's not because your mom, like my mom, better, whatever, sister, whatever relationship they got.
Yeah.
That don't mean nothing to me.
Yeah.
You understand? So if you're a part of my family, if we can't figure out to just connect and move this difficult, life is so difficult.
Facts.
Life is everyday struggle. I told one of my little homies yesterday, he said to me, oh, you live once. I said, no, you don't. You live every day you wake up, you live.
Facts.
You live every day.
You can make an impact on that day.
Every day is another struggle.
Yeah.
So that's how you get families around you, people around you to try to figure out how to get you through those days. You feel me? So big up.
And make
big up 14, man. Big up 14, man.
Jiggy, right?
Yeah.
Jiggy. Oh, you guys had some hot dog backstage? Oh, Mountain was there?
So when I pulled up to the set, initially the interview was 20 minutes, right? They said it was 20 minutes. I was the last interview. I think they had about 5 other interviews before me. So at the time, we just walking around, introduced myself to everybody. Because at the time, I was communicating with this company called Beck Media. One of their clients is BET. Wow. So anytime Beck Media hit me for anything, at the time I was still writing for The Source, anytime they hit me for an article, even if I didn't know who was the celebrity I was interviewing, I didn't know the TV show that was coming on, I didn't know none of the people. I still do the article. Why? Because I was building a relationship.
Yep.
I had a 3-year relationship with Beck Media before.
Wow.
3 years before Martin even came about.
Consistent.
And that's when Ayana hit me. She called me, say, yo, Jig, you gonna be in LA in February? I'm like, nah. I say, I don't know. What you got? She said, yo, we just got the Martin interview reunion for the 30th reunion.
It's a major
and
one,
you the first one that I thought of that I pitched to the team to make it happen. So I said, bet. I called 4T. I said, yo, my man, I'm coming to LA. He said, my man, just land. Don't worry about nothing. Check your cash app. Boom. Send me the bread. Got me in clothes. And but yeah, when we pulled up to the set, there's a lot going on. Everybody, they're like, oh, you're Jiggy? Okay, boom. Here's your room. Sit right here. We're going to call you.
You got a VIP room. Everything.
Yeah, so we sitting there. It's me and I think 2 other people that was doing the interview. So we all interacting. So they texting me giving me the update. Jiggy, okay, you're not going to do 20 minutes. You're going to do 15. I said, okay, cool. Jiggy, all right, we're not going to do 15. We're going to do 10. Then the last one was like, Jiggy, we're sorry to tell you, we only got 5 minutes. I said, damn. I wanted to talk to them for as much time as possible.
Yeah.
But when it come to 5 minutes, I was looking on YouTube to say, like, how should I end it? Because I only got 5 minutes. I think in that 5 minutes, I answered like 4 or 5 questions. So I was looking for like a key moment that I could make to really stamp this interview. And that's when I saw Martin and them do the hug that they do to show me love.
Yeah.
And then that's in the back of my mind. So I'm talking to 4T, you know, he always say, he was like, when Jiggy on set, I'm his assistant.
Yeah.
So 4T like to do every time before I start the podcast, he put his camera light on. He was like, yo, let me check you out. Make sure you're good. He's like, yo, let me make sure your collar right. All that.
So you had a brother, a cousin that will be okay with being your sister.
Being my sister. Mind you, this is a Grammy-nominated artist who wrote Up for Cardi B, y'all.
Bro,
let me say that again. This is a Grammy-nominated songwriter.
Mm-hmm.
Grammy-nominated songwriter. Who's one of the writers for Up. If it's Up, it's for Cardi B, y'all.
Yeah.
This is the man who making sure that I'm straight when I get to LA. This is the man who making sure he was my assistant because he looked at it. He said, my man, he gave me a long speech when we got back to the. He said, my man, he said, I owe my name with downtown Newark selling clothes. Mm-hmm. He said, my man, I was in the street hustling, trying to make shit happen. And I'm watching my little cousin who grew up on 611, one of the worst projects in Newark, New Jersey in the 90s. He said, my man, watching my little cousin interview Martin. He said, nah, my man. He said, my man, God working different. So, you know, I went up there. I introduced myself to the Martin cast. Tisha Campbell from Newark, New Jersey. So when she saw me, she was like, I said, how you doing, Tisha? I'm from Newark. She said, oh my God, Brick City. Right? Automatically, she went crazy because Brick City is that's a nickname for Newark.
Yeah, Newark, New Jersey.
So she said, oh my God, Brick City. She was like, y'all be nice to him. He from my city.
See?
And then, I sat down, my man. I was nervous. But then I had to tell myself, Jiggy, it's go time, it's game time.
Yeah. I
snapped out of it, and then I did the interview.
Added a lot of value to get
So Emily from Brick City too, right?
No, I'm from New York. I'm not from New York.
From New York, yeah.
I'm from Killer Hill. Park Hill.
Oh my goodness! But it was amazing.
That was such an amazing opportunity. Mm-hmm. But from everything I took away from this is the relationship that you built over the years. Is what led you to such a big moment and the importance of relationship. I know he wanted to speak consistency,
it wasn't a surprise,
relationship and support. Mm-hmm. And I love that. So we wanted to pick your brain a little and ask you, what are some things you do to prepare for these big interviews? Because you deal with a lot of celebrity, high profile individuals. How do you prepare for these interviews?
Yeah, the first thing I do, I go to their social media. So I follow them immediately. Once somebody hit me up or I reach out to somebody, I follow them immediately. I turn their notifications on because I need to know every single thing they post and every single thing they think that they put online.
Yeah.
Whether they put it on a story, whether they tweeting about it, what other people saying about them, with some shit called Google Trends. And that's just from my journalist background, knowing Google Trends. So Google Trends, anything, single story that comes out about the artist or celebrity, they go on Google Trends.
And they get
so I got all those notifications on until the interview. And then I look.
Amazing.
Yeah, so it's all research. Like I tell people, I do research for a living.
Do work.
Yeah, I do the research, and then I come up with them. Try to come up with viral moments.
Yeah.
Because at the end of the day, there's still entertainment.
Yeah.
We want people to laugh. We want people to react. Whether people laugh, mad about it, cry about it, we still want a reaction.
Some sense of emotion.
Yeah, we want some sense of emotion that attach them. That's going to create the conversation. Because one thing I learned from Shade Room is big because of the comments.
Yeah.
Because of the comments, right? When you got a lot of people responding in comments, that's how you get the conversation going.
Yeah.
Because you could take that comment and add that to a story, add that to a post, and now we create another conversation.
I'm so glad you said that because when I go to Shade Room, the first thing I do is go to the
comments. That's the community.
That's where it is.
That's the community right there. So anytime you create content, everybody that's listening or watching, make sure the goal is to either create the community based off the reactions that you get from the content you're putting out.
Yeah.
The content don't stop right here, y'all.
No.
It don't stop when you shoot the content and the guests leave. No. And you put the clip out. The content continues because it's a build-off. It's a domino effect. You shoot it, you put it out, you comment section, create new content from there. So yeah, that's how I basically prepare.
Make a lot of sense.
Okay. Yeah. So to bring it back to the Liberian community, I know we talk about, your parents saying go to school, be doctor, be this, which is common in our community. Yeah. And a lot of Liberian people don't believe that entertainment or the arts, this industry make money, right? Yeah. I think that's why they push for us to become nurses, lawyers, doctors. So can you tell us or give advice to a younger person that's coming up that want to be in this space? Like, how are they going to make money from this? How do they make a living?
Yeah, it's a couple ways. So because I'm an entrepreneur, I got to get creative, right?
Right.
I don't know any other journalists with a Wells Fargo partnership. With a partnership with a top 4 bank.
We got to touch on that.
That's just, and that was simply because that's not really a flex. That's just God's blessing, right? I mean, it is a flex, but it's really God's blessing.
1 billion people, hell yeah.
It's God's blessing, right? So one of my cousins, shout out to Steph. One of my cousins, that was one of her first job out of college, Wells Fargo. Me and Steph, we like this. That's basically like my older sister too. So Steph had a coworker that she used to work with. And she the one that introduced me to my homegirl, Patti Knight. Big shout out to Patti, who's the VP of Social Impact at Wells Fargo.
So a lot of your stuff, right? I hear you come from like relationship, right? Yeah. That probably channel back to you being like a good individual, because you gotta be a good person when people want to put you in roles with other people.
No, for sure, yeah.
You understand? Because they every time they put you in a space with somebody else, they put in that they're going
that
exactly.
You gotta be humble.
You understand? So, okay, if I put this man here, you're not gonna mess up my knee.
Yeah.
And I'm gonna do some kind of funny or foul stuff.
Yeah.
So that when I hear you talking, I kind of understand like a lot of your navigation, your movement, been you're a good person.
Yeah, that's it.
You leave good impacts with people.
Yeah, for sure. That's where it starts.
Nominated. Trying to add up to your brain when you're very disrespectful.
Yeah, exactly. You gotta be a people person. People gotta actually like not only what you promoting, what you're doing, but like you as a person.
Good human being.
Yeah, you gotta be a good person. So
tell us a little bit about that partnership with Wells Fargo. We like money.
My sister has money.
That partnership with Wells Fargo.
How did you make it happen?
And that interview with Mountain Lawrence, I go a little bit deep.
Not for sure.
A little bit, yeah.
So, and the Grammy Museum too.
So, damn, I forgot.
You
know about that too?
Okay. Did research on you.
So Stephanie, shout out to my cousin Steph. She introduced me to Patti, work at Wells Fargo. At the time, this 2023, I come back from Thailand. I went to a trip in Thailand, and when I come back,
you went alone?
No. I went with a group of people.
Look at you. Soon you won't get back to the
man. So I went with a group of like 20 of us. We all went, had a good time. So I come back from Thailand, and I'm telling Steph, I'm like, yo, Steph, we need more time. And she like, yo, I just went to Philly. She like, why you was going to Thailand having fun? I just drove to Philly to talk to Patti about this partnership to get us funding. I said, oh, word? So she was like, yeah. So Patti called me. We had a call the next week. I told her she was like, Jiggy, I've been following you for a while. You know, Stephanie told me everything he was doing. So at the time, she gave us small change just to get the event going, right? With the Grammy Museum.
Yeah.
So shout out to the Grammy Museum in Newark, New Jersey. It's no longer there, but shout out to Prudential Center. Okay. So, me and Steph called me one day and she was like, yo, like, we not postponing, because I was thinking about postponing the event. Because I'm like, we don't got enough time. I can't make the vision happen exactly how I want to. Mm-hmm. So she said, you know what? We still gonna make it happen. I went to Philly to Paralee. Paralee called me the next week. She gave us the money we needed to make that happen. Even though it's like it didn't equate to all the money we needed to make it happen, but I had to sacrifice. So you know what I mean? I got good credit. So I put a lot of money on my credit card to make it happen, to make that event happen with the Grammy Museum. I called up my homie Carl Folks, big entertainment lawyer, my homie Cheyenne Anthony, she's working at Rock Nation, Kenya Gibson, iHeart. So it was like so many throughout the year. You just meet so many people. Relationships. It
goes right back to that.
Go back to relationships, my man.
You can't
like
be burning bridges.
Like Biz said, being a good person. And these people rock with me. I know their families. And then shout out to Cheyenne. Shout out to Cheyenne and Ruben Vincent, another Liberian.
Yeah, Ruben.
Yeah. Big shout out to Ruben. Ruben signed to Rock Nation. He's working with Young Guru at the time. Young Guru, Grammy nominated engineer, has been Jay-Z's engineer.
Jay-Z.
Jay-Z's engineer since I think 99 or 2000.
Liberian too.
No, he's not Liberian. But Young Guru his mother's from Newark, New Jersey.
Okay.
So when I met him, Cheyenne hit me one day. She like, yo, Ruben gonna be at the Rock Nation office, so yo, pull up. So I pulled up. No. I was in Atlanta. And Cheyenne, she was like, oh, Jay, you in Atlanta? Pull up. Ruben at the studio. Pulled up, met Ruben. We talk about Liberian business.
Ruben is a cool,
cool young nigga, man.
Cool young,
he's doing his thing.
Good, like for me, like when I met him a couple of times, I get like good person energy.
For sure. At Peking, Ruben, I think he's 22, 23. Young homie.
Super young.
Yeah. So when we met, we talking about Liberian thing. Cheyenne just sitting over the corner laughing at us. Cause I'm like, yo, Cheyenne, you got to try the potato green, a sour leaf, all that. But yeah, so I saw Ruben 3 months later in New York at the Rock Nation office. And then Cheyenne was like, yo, Guru, this my homie Jiggy to introduce us. So I said, yo, Guru, I mean, we really looking for a special guest to come to my event at the Grammy Museum. And he's like, oh, you know my mom from Newark. I'm like, yeah, I know. So Guru, he gave me his number, So throughout the months, it's like 3-4 months before the Grammy Museum event with Wells Fargo, who Wells Fargo sponsored. So I'm texting Guru. Every time I text him, it's like one word answers, but I know he's busy.
Yes, I be.
So the last text I sent him, I was in Vegas for the Gervonta Davis fight. Big shout out to Heyman Productions. Another thing, relationships. So I got to see the Gervonta Davis and Ryan Garcia fight a couple years ago. So I'm there. I'm literally getting ready for the fight. About to go to the in my hotel. About to go to the event. I text Guru one last time. I'm like, yo, Guru, this flight going out today. Let me know if you down. He said, bro, I'm gonna see you on the 15th. And I said, bet.
Major.
So yeah. And the crazy part about it, Guru was the first person there.
Major.
We were still setting up. He came up, yo, Jig, I'm gonna call me. Yo, Jig, I'm outside. Came outside, dapped him up. He's like, yo, appreciate you having me. He was like, yo, this is dope, bro. I want to tap in more with what you're doing. And Guru, shout out to Young Guru. He stayed the whole time, didn't want to leave early.
See?
And yeah, you just
Guru not no small man either.
Nah, Guru, that's you gotta understand, y'all.
You say Jay-Z.
A Jay-Z song has not gone out without Guru's stamp and approval since the year 1999. Mm-hmm. It's 2025, y'all. So there's 26 years.
Big dog.
And he was real humble, real cool. So shout out to Big Guru, to Young Guru. But yeah, Wells Fargo, the partnership, it started with relationships.
Yeah.
And since then, we've done 2 events. I just did an event in Philly with the Philly School Board and Wells Fargo and the Sixers. So
yeah, I seen you on the court, like
I
seen you.
Yeah,
that's my man. That's how you constantly call your friend to my rest. I
want to bring this back to our community, right? Because I feel like that's a lot that we're lacking in our. You spoke about your friends and how they're very humble. I think that's a lot that we're lacking within our Liberian community. We don't know how to be humble.
Yeah,
we have a lot of people in spaces. Even with this podcast we started, we're trying to grow. We're trying to bring Liberian people that are doing well. We want to highlight what you're doing and put you out there. But it's so hard to even get people on the podcast. It's so hard.
Be humble,
for you to have people that are working with someone like Jay-Z, people that have done so much, show up to your event and show you support. It just shows the importance of just being there for each other and showing up for each other.
Yeah.
But I have one more question for you. If you could sit down and interview one person that is Liberian, past or present, that's influential, who would it be? Say, I want to interview this person. I want to sit down with them.
A Liberian.
They have to be Liberian.
It's two of them. It's two sisters.
Even better.
I met them in New Orleans at Essence Fest 3 years ago.
Liberians.
Two Liberian sisters.
Oh.
Massa and Miata.
Massa and
Miata. Make sure y'all look them.
I'm about to take a note so I can.
On Essence, right?
Yeah, they work with Ritual Dennis. Yeah. And so they've been working with Kanye West for Ye. They've been working with Ye for a long time. One of them is married to John Monopoly.
Damn. Really?
So me being a Kanye fan, Kanye my favorite artist ever. Ye my favorite artist ever. You know, research, right? I'm always looking at people grams. I know who in people teams. So John Monopoly has been with Kanye since Chicago days, way back before he produced for anybody, before he was a hit maker, before he became this legend. And so he's married to one of them. I think I don't know if it's Miata or Massa, but he married. Twins? No, they're sisters.
Sisters.
Hey, sisters. So Massa and Miata, I met them at Essence Fest, right? So I've been following them for a minute.
Wow. I'm gonna
let me just paint the picture for y'all real quick. Yeah. So I'm at Essence Fest, right? And my media pass didn't allow me to go on VIP. So I got cool with one Oman there. You know, in New Orleans, they say baby. Yeah. They say baby, that's a lot. So I'm walking around. I see one Oman there. I said, excuse me, ma'am. I said, yo, I left my wallet in the VIP room. I said, I left my wallet in the VIP room. She said, baby, you wasn't in there. I laughed. I said, Oman, listen. I said, listen. I said, I really need to be in there. I'm supposed to be in there, but they gave me the wrong pass. She said, you know what? She said, you know what, baby? Circle around the corner and come right back. And my boss right there. I said, all right. So I walk around. While I'm walking around, I see Lori Harvey come through. Mind you, Lori Harvey, gorgeous woman. My man, I swear the woman was floating. I swear she was floating when she was walking. Lori Harvey walking down the tunnel. I'm trying to circle the blocks and make sure I come back. The second time I come back, Lori Harvey, all the cameras flashing.
Man.
I swear she was floating.
Liberian.
So, yeah.
She's not Liberian.
No, she's not Liberian. She's not Liberian.
She won the baddest woman.
Yeah, she won the baddest woman. But I'm just telling you, like, what happened in the moment. Yeah. So Lori Harvey passed, all the commotion calmed down. I come back. She opened the door. I get in there. So when I get in VIP, it's champagne, it's food, it's like every liquor you could think of, every champagne, water, all the food you could think of. I go there, I get my plate, I sit in the corner by myself. I mean, I see some girls, I start talking to them. So in walk Massa and Miata, right? The two Liberian, Massa Johnson, Miata Johnson. The two sisters walking in, right? Mind you, I've been following these women for 2 years on Instagram. Wow. So when you sitting there and you see something happen, you like, nah. I look up at God, I said, wow, this is really happening. So I said, you know what? I said, yo, let me go up and talk to them. Mind you, I'm wearing World Leaders, by the way. Always got to rep World Leaders, so I'm wearing World Leaders. I go up to them. I said, excuse me, your name Massa, right? She's like, yeah. I said, your name Miata, right? She's like, yeah. One of their brothers, I think Mary J. Blige about to perform. So their brother was calling them like, yo, let's go see the performance. Soon they started doing, I said, Oma, listen. So they started laughing. They're like, oh, I'm like, yo, I'm Liberian. She's like, oh, you Liberian? I'm like, yeah. I'm like, yeah, my name's Jiggy Jones. You know, I just did that was right after the Martin interview. I said, I just did a big interview with Martin. I showed them the clip. They're like, oh, you doing your thing. I'm like, yeah. I said, I would love to stay connected with y'all. They gave me their numbers.
See? And, relationships.
They gave me their numbers and, you know, that was that. You know, a couple months later, I hit them up. They didn't hit me back. But to answer your question, those are the two women, Liberian women that I would still love to interview.
That is amazing.
I got to add another one. Barku Tubman.
Barku,
another Liberian. She worked at Essence.
She part of them.
On one of the executive committee at Essence. So, you know, between them, Massa and Miata, I had supposed to do an interview with Barku.
You gotta get Massa and Miata on.
You gotta get Massa and Miata on In the Fries and Barku. Barku's in Atlanta, Massa and Miata, I think they're in LA, but Barku, I was supposed to do an interview with her, but scheduling conflict. But yeah, those are the three Liberian women.
So you want to have a sit down with them, try to figure out like how they was able to navigate them ways.
Yeah, you know, my man, because it's I see them, I follow this page called Fly Famous Black Girls, and they end up, those pictures, they show all the pictures of like, from 2000 to now, and they in those pictures, all those OG pictures with Kanye they've been around here for 20-some years. Mm-hmm. So I'm like, they've been here. So just to ask them how to navigate from there. So yeah, those are the three men, Massa Miata and Barku Tubman.
I love that. And I think that shows the important, how you value, you know, mentorship.
For sure.
Because, you know, getting that opportunity to sit and talk with them, they can help lead the way or give you any type of guidance or build relationship with them and connection. So, you know, we got to get in touch with our Liberian sisters.
It take time. Make sure y'all come to In the Fries.
We need you to come talk to Jiggy.
But that's super beautiful, bro. I mean, amazing what you do, Jiggy. A big congratulations, bro, for pushing the culture, you know, for taking Liberia far, other country places, and
we gotta bring it back home.
Yeah, Ludacris and Lil Baby. One of my favorite, not one of
Patti LaBelle.
my favorite comedian, Martin Lawrence, because me like hot dog and Skittles together, bro. Before I go further, bro, I might not see Martin Lawrence in their life. Give me my Martin Lawrence and shit.
You want to get that handshake?
It's crazy,
shit, bro.
You go to.
And you got people like Big Jiggy, Big Icon, coming up on the fries, showing some love, and y'all just be saying that on foolish platform, and y'all won't be cussing my cause for days. Like, all kind of foolishness and things that don't make sense.
But like you said,
reach out to y'all.
We gotta be humble.
Spoiling the culture and stuff.
Yeah,
got a big icon and Jiggy.
We gotta be humble. My people gotta be humble.
Talk to them.
I know J-Biz reached out to me when I first started my journey. This is probably 2017, 2018. So this 6-7 years ago.
They don't know.
J-Biz DM me, hit me up. My man, I like what you're doing. I mean, yo, let's just stay connected. That's it.
Relationship.
My man, let's just stay connected. I said, bet. My man, you're Liberian. Like, yo, I'm in Philly. I think you opened a restaurant already?
Yeah.
They had just started opening Fuji's. Just opened Fuji. So, and then I saw him at Sean Kingston House in LA with Moose. At first, I said, yo, Biz. He said, my man. It was like, but him reaching out to me early on.
Yeah.
I think I think the only interview I had at the time was Busta Rhymes. And I had a couple others. But him just reaching out and saying, my man, let's just stay connected.
That relationship.
Now, years later, he said, reach out, coming on the podcast. I said, my man, is nothing.
One thing about Busy, the C5.
Yeah. Potential. No, I love that about Busy.
He got vision. That man was
in our people, and he, you stand with them, you support them. So I love that.
He said, my man, Jeff forget about that other play. You go on, you count, and now you will come in that play.
Yeah.
We really got to stress the importance of relationship because, years later, this community is so small as Liberian, right? There's not that many of us, and we don't know where you will run into somebody and you may need them. So you don't want to burn bridges. You don't want to, start creating enemies, especially even with business. Forget about the Liberian community with business. You need to build relationship with people, and we need to be humble. A lot of us, we have so much ego as Liberian. We don't have nothing as a country. I'm sorry to say it. We're still on the up and up. But we have so much ego, and if we continue to have that ego, we can't go far. If we bring ourselves down and work together, collectively, we can
do a lot.
We can do a lot.
But
we can do a lot.
It's all about, like you said, working together. Humbleness. We got humble.
We got.
I'm not better than nobody because of what I accomplished. Biz not better than anybody just because he own restaurants. But we find value in what we need to do. Once we find our alignment, we bring it together.
Yeah, and push the culture. So that's it, my brother.
Like magazines and stuff, like we talk about you working for the source and all that stuff. I think it'd be a dope idea because I don't think they really have no entertainment magazines in Liberia. It has to do with Liberian culture.
That's true.
I feel like that'd be a great idea, like
that's
for
something
you
he could contribute
for you to tap into that.
No, for sure.
Like, because we need that.
Yeah, even I think one of the big pages on Instagram, I think Liberia's Finest.
Yeah,
one of the big pages that started, following me long time ago. Yeah, and they DMing me, just congratulating me all the success, but also finding different ways to collab. So the more platforms like In the Fries, the Liberian's Finest page, all the pages that's promoting Liberian culture and the things that we all doing. Once we collab,
and once we start building that relationship, we can help mentor the younger generation that's coming up. Maybe there's someone there's a kid coming up that might want to be in the media space. Yeah. There's a way that you could be a big brother or mentor him and lead the way. That's the reason.
Only if they listen. If you don't listen, my man.
Yeah. Interviewing people that cheating again on the platform, bro. They ain't gonna rule people with your family.
Why you all get into it? Then they always have to go back to
bro. I'm in a room with a man that interview Martin Lawrence, bro.
Wait, people really
what
be
talking about?
People be acting some kind of way.
No. But the thing about it, right? The people we're speaking about, right?
I'll let people think.
You know how they have like
because they want to.
Right?
They want 3,000.
They got the blue app, right? They got the blue app on our community. It's called Facebook, right? So the people on Facebook, they got their own fan base, whatever. So what we try to basically do, right? Because our culture, when people think about Liberian politics, they think about like nonsense behavior,
negativity, fighting,
but I think
drama.
every negative situation has some positive in it.
Fact.
So we want to bring those people on our platform to try to tap into their life and try to figure out how we can shine some positive life light to the world with them. Like for example, like CC Maintain.
Oh boy,
Robert,
stop calling names.
We're not even bringing it on the platform again, brother. We're not bringing it on the platform. Bro, we can't be Jiggy in there, brother. They will bring shout out Robert there or CC Maintain there, yeah, bro. We're not doing that again.
Don't make
doing that, bro.
No, that was good.
My man, me and Robert can do an interview, bro.
I'm going back to Jiggy. So what plans do you have for the future? Where do you see KreativeClout? I said it right.
Yeah, definitely.
Where do you see it going in the next few years?
My biggest thing right now, I'm building my team.
Okay.
You know, individual success is great, but you know the saying goes, you want to go fast, go by yourself. You want to go far, go with others.
I love that, and it's so true.
So you gotta build a team because you know I faced the. You ever heard of burnout before?
Yeah.
You just lose energy. You can't. I faced burnout before, right? It was right after Martin. Right after Martin, I faced burnout because I worked so hard, right? I wasn't eating, I wasn't sleeping. It was just work.
It's that hustle spirit.
It's just hustling.
Yeah.
It was just hustling and women. That's it. So
bad recipe.
You know what? I need.
Yeah, my man.
Worst recipe.
My man, up there, make Jack dog.
So you know that my only stress reliever is that work women. So you know, at a point, you get to a point where your brain, you're mentally tired, mentally fatigued. I didn't even think all I needed was a small vacation, probably 7 days, 10 days. But I went right back to work. Came back from Essence, did work, had a great time, but I came right back to work. So right now it's all about building a team, more partnerships this year, and yeah, you know, team and partnerships. That's it.
Love that. Now let me ask something personal for the ladies that are wondering. You know, we always gotta ask for the ladies. Is there a special woman in your life, or are you single and ready to mingle?
Yeah, I'm single right now.
Until you get married.
I'm not.
You're single till you get married.
He's single
they're not wedding band on my hand.
The man single till you get married.
He is single as of that. Ladies,
single right now. And I mean, holla at me.
Hear it?
Jiggy Jones at JIGGYJONES on the gram.
Tell the ladies, what's your type? What's your preference? What are you looking for?
Just someone.
No, we gotta start doing matchmaking on there in the fries.
I'm telling you. Say that you single till you get married, like just leave it alone.
No.
You know, like my
that's how making connections.
Like my bro J-Biz said, you know, I'm single till I get married.
Get married.
I'm single till I get married.
Maybe you get somebody sitting out somewhere.
Yeah, I'm single till I get married.
Single till you get married.
Well, just at least tell the ladies what your preference are.
Well, I think anyone, not my preference, not my preference. I know I'm the guest here, but not my preference. I think anyone should be with someone that they're compatible with, that's passionate, and that care about them just how they care about the other person.
So would you date someone in a creative space?
Yeah, for sure.
Okay.
For sure, because I know how much passion it takes to be creative. So.
Okay, a lot of the time, entrepreneurs don't want to be with another entrepreneur.
I feel like those are the best people to be with because
they understand.
They understand.
Because a normal individual may not understand your work hours, may not understand you got to travel to go out the country and be there for months. It would be like you'll be fighting by small stuff.
Oh, you got to lie sometime.
We want to do that. We want healthy relationship. We don't want toxic lying.
No.
Everybody look at me and got tell me the other day because of some situation in my life that I'm not gonna be able to go to work. I said, "Oh, yo, they say you're not able to go to Liberia or to go to Miami, this and that." I'm like, what are you talking about? How?
He said, "My man,
job."
He told him, "J-Biz."
Yeah, that's my job. You said, "I travel because of what?"
Do you have any more questions, Liberian-based question for our guests? Because you don't always want to bring people back to Liberia.
I'm gonna let you end it with all your Liberian-based questions. You can go to Yale.
When was the last time you been to Liberia?
Unfortunately, I have not been.
You playing?
You've never been.
This year. This year's the year.
Jiggy gotta go, bro.
I'll be there in December.
I did not.
You gotta go, bro.
I'll be there in December. I'll be in Liberia in December.
Okay.
For at least two weeks.
Yeah, so we're gonna do some interviews with cats in Liberia. So maybe you can definitely.
That's what I was gonna ask.
You can help us with that.
Yeah, I'm there.
Partner with that.
Let me know the dates. I'm there. I'm ready. I'm ready to make it happen.
And then the magazine too, bro. Really look into that, please, because like you said, we need media spaces, different things to figure out how to move our own industry forward, because that's what's going on in other industries. Like Nigeria, Ghana, they have these different things. Not that people just making music and put on the internet and fly. No. They have all these different ways that music moves around.
Yeah.
Because not everybody find music from just going on Apple Music. They hear it from different places. You understand? People they trust. So that's what, like, we need to create that. Like, I think our country depend on us, bro.
100%.
You understand? Like, Liberia just a land.
100%.
People say sell Liberia. No, sell all the Liberians in Liberia. You understand?
I get where you're coming from, Biz, but you know, I kind of understand from like
Emily, right?
Mm-hmm.
So you see, the thing is, right? Look at Jiggy right now.
Yes,
sitting so calm, so cool. Like he haven't even accomplished anything yet. You know,
when he's accomplished so much.
Just small light. When you shine on it, just fly it. When you shine on it,
he won't go fly.
That's what a flashlight.
I'm telling you.
Get a small flashlight.
The man right here sitting right here.
I know days better, probably.
Ludacris, the Busta Rhymes, the little baby, Martin Lawrence, Netflix, all of that in the space. With Mary, Mariam, Connie. Look, and he's sitting right here like nothing happened.
And then you go, you
gotta be humble.
Sitting here like nothing happened, bro. Just small little light. When you shine on it,
go crazy.
Don't go crazy, bro.
And that's the reason why we don't
progress.
Yeah, we don't progress.
Yeah,
because we don't even understand like how to move forward when we engage with that kind of popularity, bro. We just feel like, okay, yeah.
You know what I think it is? You know what? One is the ego, but then I think because sometimes as Liberian, we are so small-minded.
That's the difference
that we don't see
we
never see the bigger picture. It's like, let me come here, you pay me a certain amount, and then I go. But you're not thinking about the relationships you're building and where you're going to meet these people down the line and what they could potentially do for you down the line.
Yeah.
You're only thinking about, okay, pay me this money now and let me go. Let's say when you started working for the Sauce, if they would have paid you $800 and you're like, that money they pay me now ain't good enough, I'm not going to stay here. And then you're going to be jumping from place to place.
Exactly.
And you wouldn't have gained all that knowledge and you wouldn't be where you are today.
That's true.
So,
no, my man, but think about Jiggy, right? The reason why I kind of like understand like why the operator would operate, you got to go Liberia yourself. Once you get there, you understand a lot of things. I just seen a post on Chichi Butter Room like today. The guys, it's a guy in Liberia that was in America, and he showed a video where they got an ad, right? A gym ad with a girl holding Club BA in her hand. A gym ad. So you literally promoting the gym, but he said putting a gym BA.
At the gym. So are we promoting
there's nothing upset
we promoting
taking place over there. Nothing upset.
Promoting party, you promoting the gym.
So what they're doing is they're saying, I guess you can drink beer while you're in the gym too.
Oh, okay. Well, it works for the people who want to drink beer.
That's an oxymoron.
Yeah. Crazy.
Double negative, bro. Yeah.
Crazy.
But Jiggy, before we let you go, we want you to tell the people where can they find you, all of your sites, your socials, to make sure everybody can look you up. Anything that you have coming up that you want to promote,
for sure.
This is your time.
For sure. So big shout out to In the Fries. Thank y'all for having me. On Instagram, you can follow me at Jiggy Jones. That's JIGGY JONES 2 underscores. Don't forget the underscores. That's Instagram and Twitter, X. On YouTube, you can find me at KreativeClout. Make sure y'all subscribe. That's KreativE Clout CLOUT. Make sure you follow that on Instagram and Twitter, Instagram and YouTube. And I got a dope interview coming out soon with Young Blue. We talked about a bunch of stuff. So make sure y'all look out for that. Like I said, more partnerships this year. Yeah, we just getting started, y'all. It's 2025. We here to get live. We here to make it happen. And appreciate Enterprise for having me.
And we want to come too, bro. Or we want to come on that platform.
Okay, bet.
The whole crew member want to come.
Make that happen. Enterprise KreativeClout. Let's make it happen.
Yeah, and to all the Liberians watching, we'll appreciate if you go and support our brother and follow him.
Share it. They reach the mirror.
Send it to your friend and say, for Liberian, he interviewing all these BBC celebrities.
One person.
You're not here making noise, passing around, bragging, being arrogant.
Thank you so much for coming on.
You gotta be humble, y'all. Be humble.
You want to grow, you gotta be humble.
Be humble. Connect with your fellow people, like-minded people, and you're gonna be good to go.
You misbehave. Like, you see, I've been in Sigo, and then when I misbehave, when Jason cut that winning that. They better put us in there. They can tell you that this nigga just doing to do you entertainment.
Exactly. I got my ball.
No entertainment, bro.
My ball.
They can take you like this. And they can say you want to misbehave.
Drop you.
Emily, right? Listen, let me tell you why I found this very offensive, right? why would man a shallow robber charge me like J-Base? Man a robber or charge me like J-Base or $2,500 for business interview him?
What?
Well, that's what he feels. That's
not mess up on the business
man.
It's a guy called Robert Bakur.
I already know it is that.
He's like
look him up. He's an artist?
No, he is. He's we call him a drag queen. That's what he is. Well, he's a drag queen. He's like a famous drag queen. That's what it is. A drag queen. What drag queen is? What drag queen?
Wow. 2,500?
But you're just talking to Doug.
Oh,
bro, that's disrespect.
2,500?
Are you talking about? Then you're giving them a platform. You're making them